My name is Dave Zacklis. I'm one of the owners and founders of Zacklis Realty. Last week, we talked about everything all the way up until that accepted offer, executed contract. Today, we're going to talk about things you need to know when you buy your first home. So I believe congratulations are in order. You've got an executed contract. So from here, from this date, known as the effective date, all dates hinge. So the first thing that takes place once you have an executed contract is that usually within 3 to 5 days, your escrow deposit will be due. So make sure you know what day it's due and have those funds wired or dropped off at the escrow agent. Now, this deposit is known as a good faith deposit, and this is refundable to you if you decide not to move forward with the contract for any number of reasons and exercise one of the contingencies that you have in the contract. Also within the first week, you may have had an attorney that you decided is going to represent you. Typically within 3 to 5 days, they have to review the contract and make any changes. Within the first week also, if you're buying in an HOA community or a condo community, there's a number of condo docs or HOA docs that should have been provided to you before you made your offer. If you did not receive all the documentation, the seller has 3 days at their expense to get you a full copy of all the documentation. Make sure you take time to review that before you move forward. Also within the first week, typically 5 days, you have start your application with your lender. Most of the time you've already started your application, but if you haven't, make sure you have all the details and that you fill out the application with your lender within that first week. The next thing you need to be aware of is typically within the second to third week is when all your inspection deadlines come to an end. So make sure you know what your inspection deadline is. On the Florida contract, it defaults to 15 days, but oftentimes that may have been pushed up or back depending on what you negotiated. So within that 15-day period or that inspection deadline, you have to have all your inspections completed and you have to notify the seller if you're going to back out of the contract or if you're going to ask for repairs. Now, you may have different repair limits, you may have different inspections. Just because you had your first home inspection, you may need to have a further inspection done. That all needs to be completed by the end of the inspection deadline. If by chance you didn't have that completed and you need to further negotiate, you're going to ask for an extension of that deadline. 2 to 3 weeks after you've gotten into an effective date, you need to have your appraisal ordered. If you're working with a lender, your lender would have ordered your appraisal and that should be completed within a certain amount of time and you have those results. You may have an appraisal contingency in your contract. So when that appraisal comes in, you need to know whether you're going to exercise that contingency. Right, the next important date in your contract is usually a commitment date. This is at the end of your period of your contract, typically 30 days after the effective date or 5 days before you close. Your lender, if you're getting financing, will make a commitment to you to say, we agree to go ahead and fund the loan. Now, this usually takes a period of time because during this time with your lender, you're providing additional documentation to you. They're verifying your income, assets, and all this. So at the end, 5 days typically before closing, the commitment date is due. Make sure you get that commitment in writing from your lender. That needs to be provided to the seller side. Let them know that you're moving forward. If for some reason your lender said, we're not committing to fund this loan, you then can exercise your contingency to not move forward based on the loan not being approved. Once the commitment is issued, your lender will issue a clear to close. This typically takes place 3 to 5 days before closing. On this date, everything should have been done by your lender, title searches would have been completed, and you're ready to close. Complete your walkthrough with your realtor, and then congratulations, closing day. Whether you're buying your first home or your 10th, these are all important dates for you to take into consideration. If you have any questions about real estate, interior design, or any of our services, please don't hesitate to reach out. We look forward to hearing from you.